Welcome to Proles of the Roundtable, but the special episode's only for the true revolutionaries. Dialectics After Dark. This is our monthly bonus episode. We're doing this for December. Is this number 4 or 5?
4.
4. Okay.
It's 4.
Yeah. So Dialectics After Dark, number 4. Yeah. This is where we just kind of get a little, like, we go off script. We kind of just sometimes get a little rowdy. If you're a fan of holds being barred or prisoners being taken, this is not the podcast for you. Yeah, so we got a full table here, in that all the seats are taken. Yeah, so who we got tonight?
This is Ezra. I'm drinking coconut. Am I supposed to say the drink? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I'm drinking coconut liqueur.
Hey, this is Taylor, and I'm drinking some Dale's Pale Ale.
This is Jeremy, and I'm drinking Hathor from Cerberus Brewing, local brewery, at which Taylor works.
Oh,
Doxed.
Oh, shit.
It's a crowler.
It's really good. It's really good beer.
I'm Justin, and I'm drinking Penner as per usual, but tonight with the hot lime beer salt, just to flex on Taylor.
Stepping it up. The hot lime.
Oh, God.
Fucking
And
revisionist.
then I'm Ethan. I'll be your host tonight. I'm drinking a Hoegaarden, which is an original Belgian wheat beer. Anno 1445. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so...
Long history behind that beer. It's actually pretty cool, but that's a different
it's a good
podcast.
one. I like it.
We could do a whole episode on that.
We could do a whole episode on that.
Awesome. It's got a subtle hint of coriander and orange peel. Okay. So, what we've done, we got a bunch of segments for you tonight. It's going to be fun. Our first segment is, what did we end up calling this one?
The pick.
The pick. That's right. Shout out to Scandinavia. Because there was a long there was a thought process that we recorded, but then that part got deleted. So now all that's left is the name. So anyway, this is where we just open up the mainstream media, the New York Times, Washington Post, and just read the headlines and the stories and just react as principled Marxist-Leninists. That's what you're paying for, right? So yeah, let's see here. We'll start out. Cole Porter's piano gets a new home in New York.
What?
No. Okay, here we go. Oh, here's a nice light story to start us off. Climate negotiators reach an overtime deal to keep the Paris Pact alive. So in Poland, diplomats from nearly 200 countries reached a deal on Saturday to keep the Paris Climate Agreement alive by adopting a detailed set of rules to implement the pact. So the deal, struck after an all-night bargaining session, will ultimately require every country in the world to follow a uniform set of standards for measuring their planet-warming emissions and tracking their climate policies. And it calls on countries to step up their plans to cut emissions ahead of another round of talks in 2020.
Hooray!
Nice.
We'll all be dead by then. Anyway.
Yeah.
Wow, we're doing this really expediently, like just saving the world
So
2 years at a time.
I mean, that's the thing is
What if we use the term call out instead? Can we call out climate change?
Call out the ozone layer. I give a shit.
So this piece ends, quote, "Look at countries like China and India that are going ahead with renewables for their own reasons," said Salimil Hook, director of Bangladesh's International Center for Climate Change and Development. "That's what we need, for countries to move in that direction because it makes sense to them, not because they signed up for an agreement and they're supposed to."
We're just going to ask, hey, do you want to kind of do this? You know, that'll be really effective.
And then another quote at the very end. This closes out the piece.
DSA 2020.
AOC, here's your platform. Go get that bread.
Green New Deal. Here's another quote that closes it out. "Of course it's important to have these rules, but a lot of the real action is happening by entrepreneurs. It's happening by
course it
business
is.
people. It's happening by the finance sector, by the money flowing. It's happening at the city and state level," said Catherine McKenna, Canada's environment minister. "Climate change is a complicated problem," she said, "and it's not going to be solved by national governments alone."
Weak.
So anyway, future is looking real good. Good luck, everybody.
Oh. So I did watch a video like last year, maybe the year before, where this person who was like, I think they were like the head of some NGO, which is, cursed, but they were trying to argue that we should redefine the term entrepreneurship. and that it should include things like when governments develop new technologies that help to, because it like that sort of thing happens, right? Like it's not just like it doesn't always happen from the private sector, and in fact it usually when it matters doesn't. So
I see.
Nice.
when governments like fund research and something comes out of that, that should be entrepreneurship.
Is eating deli meats really that bad for you?
Hitting those real hot topics.
Should you really quit cold turkey?
Oh.
That was a good one. Stop.
Here we go.
That was a really good one.
I'm not going to read this article, but the headline is amazing. I keep making out with the father of the kids I babysit.
Okay, wait. Can you repeat that, please? I need to have my pedigree.
I keep making out with the father of the kids I babysit.
honey, no.
Putin on rap music. It's the drugs, not the swearing, that really bothers him.
What? Okay.
No, so told that rap and hip hop have grown wildly popular among Russian youth and that the lyrics are rebellious, mention drugs, and include many swear words, President Vladimir V. Putin mused about banning the music outright, but then suggested instead if he might try to control it.
Putin's like, you're cool, Grandpa. I don't really care about the swears. It's the drugs that bother me.
Okay, so the place where this segment really comes alive is when we get to the op-eds and the opinion
God.
pages.
Oh, these are the fucking worst.
So I've got one here by Brett Stevens, who we've talked about. This guy really loves climate change, really hates all kinds of things that are good in the world, and this guy gets paid like millions of dollars to write shitty takes every week. This one is an antidote to idiocy in Churchill. In this season of giving, get and give Andrew Roberts' brilliant new biography. This whole thing is just basically about like Churchill was awesome, fuck you guys. So it starts out, earlier this year, the retired astronaut Scott Kelly posted a harmless tweet quoting Winston Churchill's famous line, "In victory, magnanimity." Left-wing Twitter went berserk, and Kelly felt obliged to grovel. "Did not mean to offend by quoting Churchill," he wrote. "My apologies. I will go and educate myself further on his atrocities, racist views which I do not support." So good work, Scott Kelly. But like, this Brett Stevens felt the need. He's going to write a whole
ass op-ed.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see.
Aren't they so cute?
We live in a time in which decent and otherwise sensible people are surrendering too easily to the hectoring of morons or extremists.
We got called extremists on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. Extremist podcasts. Yeah. That's good. Think of Prime Minister Theresa May of Britain and the hardcore Brexiteers, or what used to be called the Republican establishment and Donald Trump. No, and so this whole thing, he's just got a bunch of different things about how Churchill proved these maxims that we consider self-evident. He proved them wrong. To be like the idea that to be a member of the establishment is to be a creature of it. He's saying Churchill established free trade to the consternation of Tory protectionists.
God.
Yeah, it's terrible. To be a champion of empire is to be a bigot. Apparently not true.
Oh my God.
In 1899, Churchill envisioned a future South Africa in which black is proclaimed to be proclaimed the same as white, to be constituted his legal equal, to be armed with political rights.
Wow, how revolutionary.
He denounced the 1919 British massacre of Indian protesters at Amritsar as a, quote, monstrous event.
And then starved millions of
Yeah,
them.
exactly, and then did a bigger one.
Yeah. Well done.
Everything we get mad at Stalin for doing, Churchill actually did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, one of the alleged crimes for which Churchill is now blamed is the perpetration of a quote-unquote genocide in India after a cyclone-caused famine in 1943. Evidence for this is he used racially insensitive humor during the crisis. Except that Churchill did send whatever food he could spare. Japan was threatening India from Burma. The rest of the world was at war, and difficult choices had to be made.
As
Except
in,
he
the
took-
white lives are more important than the brown lives.
He took the grain from Bengal and took it to Greece, who didn't fucking need it. So don't tell me that it was like, he was like, oh, I spared all I could, except he took like tons of their grain away and shipped it off to fucking Greece.
Ugh, that was terrible.
It's just the racist jokes, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, he racially
lighten up.
insensitive.
Lighten up, extremists.
Oh man, here's another one by Brett Stevens.
God damn it.
When anti-Zionism tunnels under your house.
What?
What?
The
What
subtitle
the fuck?
for the people of northern Israel, anti-Zionism isn't some feckless Sally in the world of ideas.
Jesus
Could someone
Christ.
define what feckless?
Feckless Sally?
Listen, I didn't go to college. I didn't hear this story.
You didn't go to college in the Victorian era is the problem.
So this whole thing is... all this is to say that Israelis experience anti-Zionism in a different way than, say, readers of the New York Review of Books. Not as a bold Sally in the world of
Back at
ideas.
Sally's.
What is this? I've never heard this word. In this
Sally
Yeah.
is like a cavalry charge, right?
Oh,
Or
okay.
It's a military term for like a charge.
But as a looming menace to their earthly existence, held at bay only through the force of arms. Oh man, he's shouting us out. It's somewhat like the difference between discussing the effects of Marxism-Leninism in an undergraduate seminar at Reed College circa 2018 and experiencing them at closer range in West Berlin circa 1961.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Episode on GDP.
yeah.
Do it,
Brett's gonna get ripped apart in the episode on the G. We gotta tag him when that comes out.
Actually-
Also, I can't imagine Reed College has a lot of Marxist-Leninists. Like, it's a fucking bougie ass
Didn't know that
college.
universities have like classes on Marxism and
Yeah, ideology, totally.
yeah,
That's what I'm majoring in, actually. Marxist ideology.
Pure ideology.
pure ideology. All right. So continuing what Brett Stevens says, actually it's worse than that, since the Soviets merely wanted to dominate or conquer their enemies and seize their property, not wipe them off the map and end their lives.
Like
Left Twitter would
Palestinians.
disagree.
Anti-Zionism might have been a respectable point of view before 1948 when the question of Israel's existence was in the future and up for debate. Today, anti-Zionism is the call for the elimination of a state.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, yes.
Oh shit, my man got us.
So he ends this with, the good news is that the conversation about anti-Zionism remains mostly academic because Israelis haven't succumbed to the fatal illusion that if only they behaved better, their enemies would hate them less. To the extent that Israeli parents ever sleep soundly, it's because they know what they're up against. And to borrow Kipling's line, they never make mock of uniforms that guard them while they sleep. Kipling, the guy who...
Noted racist.
noted creator of the White Man's Burden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy gets paid money to write this shit. Is what you're telling me. This is
He won
this
a
is
Pulitzer Prize in 2013 at the Wall Street Journal.
what the fuck?
And he was previously editor-in-chief of the Jerusalem Post.
It's all coming together.
Wild.
Like my white Texas uncle could have written this.
There we go. I'm going to move over to the Washington Post, sponsored by a friend of the show, Jeff Bezos. Let's see.
Without whom we wouldn't have these wonderful new mics.
No, you know what? Fuck Jeff Bezos. Our patrons bought us these mics, and it's awesome. So
Yeah.
thank you all for listening and for,
Hopefully you've noticed the sound quality improvement.
it's exciting.
Have any episodes that we've used these on come out? No, yeah.
No,
I mean, I guess they will, yeah.
No,
This one will be the first.
this will be first. Because feminism won't come out till the 1st of January.
Right.
So we're at the Washington Post now. We got a cute picture of a bat. Oh, that's right. You can't read the articles here, and I'm not giving them any money. So I'm gonna
Can't give him that Patreon dollar.
no, hell no. So we're subs. Yeah. So I'm gonna go to the opinions, which you can read for free. Thank God.
Have you seen that meme that has just like a bunch of old white dudes sitting in a tent and it's just like free advice? Like it might not be good, but it's free. Like that's literally every American newspaper's op-ed section.
That's also that guy at Marxist Center.
We can't keep talking about Marxist Center. We can't keep doing this. Okay. Again, China debases the rule of law. This time,
God.
President Trump chimes right in.
Good for him.
I know, no
You may
big.
not agree with him, but
At least he's doing something.
I know, no big deal. Just one more casually amoral, willfully obtuse, senselessly destructive assault on the rule of law. Is that Trump doing that? Like, is that the Canadian government arresting that
Right.
Huawei
Right.
executive? Because yes, I agree. Let's see.
We talk about that weirdness.
Well, we haven't talked about it on mic.
So
We talked about it a little bit on Discord. Yeah, what's going?
So there's a Huawei executive who was ordered by the U.S. government to be arrested while they were in Canada. So the U.S. government was like, "Yo, Canada, detain this person for us on our behalf," which is sort of like a standalone kind of strange issue. Except this is like the third weird ass incident that's related to some sort of production facility. Like it was Martin who shared this, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Like Martin was like, yeah, there's a plant somewhere in Europe, and I can't remember where it was, but they manufacture parts for both U.S. and Chinese, and then also Korean cell phone manufacturers. And a huge order for Huawei had come into that plant, and mysteriously, like a massive fire broke out in the plant.
Yeah,
They're trying each company, like so Samsung, I forget which American company it is, and then Huawei are like all racing to release this new form of technology. I forget what he said it was that it's supposed to
It's
whatever.
like a new kind of semiconductor. Or
Yeah,
something, right?
they're all trying to rush to production to get the first phone out that has this. And so it is distinctly possible that this is all in the service of U.S. cell phone manufacturers.
No, I mean this story is super weird.
It's so weird.
So her name is Meng Wanzhou. She's the top executive at Huawei, and like I guess she was in Canada she was heading to. I think she was going to like the G20 summit or something like that. But she was like in Canada, I think, to meet with this professor who had some recent breakthrough on semiconductor technology.
Yeah.
So she was meeting with him and then got picked up by the Canadian government at the behest of the U.S. After meeting this guy. So
Yeah.
like it's like
there was like
it's
a-
like spy
Didn't he
shit.
end up dying? Like
No,
somebody...
there was another scientist though who ended up dying
Yeah.
mysteriously. An employee of Huawei who was in their like engineering department who
was like thrown off of a fucking
yeah.
50-story building or something.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
It's
This
weird
is like,
shit.
It's like spy.
Except
yeah.
it's companies. It's like we're living in fucking Blade Runner shit now. Like it has nothing to do with governments anymore. It's all
Well,
like
but then you have got
corporations
the U.S.
fighting each other.
government like
Working on
intervening
behalf
on
of,
behalf
yeah.
of corporations. Yeah, exactly.
It's not like, Soviet spies and US spies like, putting umbrellas full of polonium in your back, but
right. No, it's wild. This stuff is wild. Yeah, that's weird. Okay. Oh boy. All right. Who should decide what topics are off limits by Megan McArdle? If you don't know who Megan McArdle is, you need to Google. She has nuclear ass takes. Like, it's just
Google Megan McArdle.
one of the dumbest people like writing like with a big platform. So she actually used to blog. Her name was her blog name was Jane Galt.
Oh, God.
Fuck.
No, but like no, but she's literally just like literally one of the dumbest people. Just has the dumbest takes. All right. So who should decide what topics are off limits? Noah Carl, a young British social scientist, stands accused of peddling racist pseudoscience. That's in quotes. And as I discovered, even asking whether the accusation is true invites the same sort of unwelcome attention.
I'm just asking questions.
Just asking questions. No, and so hundreds of academics have signed an open letter about his work, calling on his employers to dissociate themselves from his research and investigate his appointment to a Cambridge University fellowship. Carl's published papers address sensitive subjects such as Islamist terrorism and immigration. More provocatively still, provocative. Ooh. He has argued in favor of researching race and IQ.
Oh, Jesus
boy.
fucking Christ.
But since the open letter didn't cite specifics, defenders of Carl's academic freedom could only guess at what had provoked it. This is not, critics of the open letter said, how academia should work. Jonathan Haidt, a research psychologist at New York University, told me academic norms are very clear, which is that you're supposed to rebut arguments and you don't use guilt by association. And so this whole thing, like she wrote several thousand words about like
Defending a racist?
well no it's not it's like she says a number of times like I don't know if it's true, I just think we should just have the conversation. There's a history, I said, of scientists finding whatever they expect, from scientists insisting that humans had 48 chromosomes even as their experiments kept showing 46, to the eugenics that fueled the Holocaust. One of this one's critic's own papers shows that left-leaning social psychologists have long been inadvertently biasing their research towards answers the left finds congenial.
Listen to our history episode.
Well, no, so without hesitation, this guy agreed. Carl wasn't endorsing a link between race and IQ, just starting a discussion about whether we should study it.
It's literally been studied though. Like oh wait, ew. I'm sorry. Like, oh my god. Like this is literally eugenics is comparing IQ to race and then creating like class divisions within like that doesn't makes me so mad.
Yeah.
And it's all pseudoscience bullshit anyway. Like super easily debunked. That's why we don't talk about it.
And so here's the wild thing is you get to the end and she says, in fairness, however, like this is the last paragraph. In fairness, however, I did emerge with two prior beliefs basically confirmed. First, that research into race and IQ should stay off limits. But second, those limits are better established by debate than denunciation. So literally this whole article, there was no point in writing it. Like
This is like every conversation I've had at parties recently, like holiday parties where I get sucked into some fucking conversation and I start yelling about Marx and Lenin and Stalin and then some fucking dude, it's like begging the question ad infinitum. They're like, well, what about I'm fucking done. Like you're getting nowhere. You're not as smart as you think you are. Fuck off.
okay, couple more for you. Oh shit, I ran out of posts. No! All right, hold on. We're going turning on the VPN.
I'm in.
Yeah, so I've opened an incognito window and I fired up the
Oh
VPN.
my god.
I'm behind 7 proxies. Okay, hold on. I have to. I think
FBI
somebody-
can't catch me.
Come at me, FBI. All right. Yeah. So now it thinks I'm in Ukraine.
I use Signal, so
So amazing.
so the FBI agent that's following us had to download it too.
Forever problems push us apart. Right now problems bring us together.
What?
By David Von Drell.
What in the fuck?
Okay, so he's talking about. Okay, so he's talking about how much people. So we talked about this a little bit, I think, in our last one, because he's talking about like people are doing all these nice things, like they serve on charitable organizations, like they serve on school boards, carry lasagna to the grief-stricken. Last year, Americans donated a record $410 billion to charities, according to Giving USA. This urge to pitch in knows no age, no race, no gender, no income level, and
Yes, it
and
does.
refreshingly, no politics.
Oh,
It
Jesus.
does. Income level does matter, though. The poor, generally speaking,
Poor people
donate more percentage-wise of their income than rich people. So, fuck this guy. Already starting off weak. Low energy Pietikov.
Low energy Von Drell. I think we face two kinds of problems in this world: forever problems and right now problems. Forever problems are those persistent challenges, vast and complex, that humans confront but seldom solve. They touch so many facets of our nature and the social order, and are so entangled with one another that they transcend the personal to become political. Take, for example, the distribution of wealth. Some people have hardly any money. Others have unimaginable mountains of it.
Really?
Versions of this reality.
Tell me more.
Versions of this reality have perplexed the world for ages, and it remains a defining political question for 21st century Americans.
Read Marx, read Lenin.
Some see it primarily as a problem of educational opportunity. Some see it as a matter of taxation. Some see it as a question of corporate control. Some see it as a matter of family structure. Some see it as a manifestation of greed, a moral failing. Some see it as a manifestation of slow growth, an economic question. It is safe to
So
say
none of those are economic questions. Fuck off.
it is safe to say that when the public can't agree on the cause or even the definition of a problem, we're not on the brink of a solution.
Because meaning is relative and it doesn't matter, and everybody has their own opinion, so why bother?
There's a reason we can read of this problem on papyrus scrolls and in medieval libraries. In Dante, Shakespeare, Dickens, and Toni Morrison, it is a forever problem.
No.
In Matthew's account of his ministry, Jesus said, "The poor you will always have with you." Despite centuries of thought and hard work, of debate and revolutions, that forecast remains accurate.
Well-known economist Jesus Christ.
Oh God! Here we go. Oh fuck! This is
The hot takes are too hot.
This is a Galaxy Brain article. This is wild. Timely access to effective and affordable healthcare seems to be another forever problem.
Oh God.
So too is the education young people need to build happy, productive lives. Much of what we hear our politicians. God, this is as if there's just we don't know
Yeah.
how to fix these things.
Yeah.
Like there's just no way to know.
Yeah. It's tough.
It's sad. It's really sad. I wish
Read Marx, read Lenin.
I wish there had been like a number of states in the 20th century that had solved both of those issues.
Yeah, that would be
would've been
incredible
nice.
if there had been some major superpower that was in opposition to the United States that all of these issues had been fixed in. That would be incredible.
God, I hate paying like 35% of my income to rent. I wonder if there was some way, some place out there in the ether in which I wasn't paying that much in rent.
Maybe like a magical place where it's 3%.
Oh,
like
God.
3% of your income was going to.
Yeah. What if it was just a union of like little workers' councils?
Yeah.
Yes. Different republics with their own like ethnic groups that were allowed to maintain their own language and
Yeah, and sovereignty. And everybody had universal health care and education for
their
free.
labor wasn't exploited but was used to the benefit of the entire union of republics,
Yeah.
one might say.
Like union, like workers' council republics, you might say.
I wish there was just one word we could have for that.
Yeah,
Like
I mean-
for those workers' councils.
Well, I think in Russian it's Soviet. I think. is
Okay,
the
well,
word.
what if we
So-
had a union of Soviets?
Yeah, union of maybe Soviet socialist republics.
Hey.
What if we had one of those?
Y'all are stalling on the answer.
Oh my God.
No, let me finish. This article. Let me read you the last fucking paragraph of this. As the man said, and there's no man here. There was no context there. As the man said, there are 1,000 points of light. So let us not be discouraged by
Who is the man?
I don't know. There are 1,000 points of
Well-known
light.
economist Jesus Christ.
There are 1,000 points of light. So let us not be discouraged by the difficulty of forever problems, but in seeking their solutions, may we draw on the goodwill of the bell ringers, the child comforters, the feeders of the hungry, the soothers of the sick. They aren't the noisy ones, but you can find them on every
Oh
boulevard.
God. You know who that was? I just remembered who the fuck that was.
Who?
George H.W. Bush.
No.
Yes, that's
No.
the
It was
man.
not.
It was George H.W. Bush.
Canceled.
I was like, I recognize that, and then I was like, oh my God, they were talking about it at his funeral. The 1,000 fucking points of light speech.
Oh God. Okay.
The man.
So basically,
As the
the
man
whole
said.
point of that was like, listen, we are never going to solve these big problems, but like these little things, people help each other out, and that we should take hope in that. Like, fuck off. That's dumb. The New Dividing Line in Western Politics by Fareed Zakaria.
Oh my
We've talked
God.
about him
Friend of the show,
before.
Fareed Zakaria.
This guy's a clown.
God, I remember being in high school and like having multiple history teachers that were like, Fareed's doing great work. Like you read his articles. Like, yeah, they're on like first name basis with him. Like, oh, my homeboy Fareed out there writing articles that I have nothing to do with. Like he's really killing it. Like fuck
Those
off.
the ones that he plagiarized and like got. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, God. Okay. Okay. So this is basically about. Okay. So he's the picture is the yellow vest thing in France.
Oh, yeah.
Which is. We could. I'm sure.
We probably should talk about that too.
I read, like,
Let's talk about it.
I
Bring it
read
up.
like 50 things about it, and basically all I can say at this point is it's complicated.
Yeah, I mean,
got no
it's
answers.
definitely not like. There are people on the left, notably there are anarchists on the left. They're like, oh yeah, look at France. They're taking it
But there
down.
are,
It's so great.
There are hardline communists involved as well.
Oh no,
It's
there
not just
are.
anarchists.
Yeah,
there's
no,
also,
but there's
like,
also
fascists.
Yes,
yeah,
they're also
it's
fascists.
like literally everybody is mad, and so it's not like some movement that you can claim as
Sure.
like some like.
Not uniform.
So it sounds like y'all are agreeing with Fareed Zakaria here, who says the next place we might be watching the rise of a new
Why
left-
would you hurt me like that, Ethan?
The next place we might be watching the rise of a new left-right populism is France. Thus far, the Yellow Vest protests in France have lacked a party, structure, and leadership. I agree that those are important things for a revolutionary moment. But the list of demands have been circulating. At their heart is an unworkable fantasy, such as a constitutional cap on taxes at 25%, coupled with a massive increase in social spending. What is striking about these manifestos is that they combine traditional wish lists from the left and right. No wonder, then, that nearly 90% of people who back the major far-left and far-right parties view the movement favorably, compared with only 23% of people in President Emmanuel Macron's centrist party.
Macrono Gulag.
Wait, there are macarons in the gulag?
Yeah, there's macarons in the Gulag.
Nice.
We maybe can't do this one because it may be a valid point. I don't know.
What?
This article.
We can't give Fareed Zakaria.
No, I mean that's the problem with these directionless movements is that they get co-opted by both sides of the.
Right.
And then you have some fucking dingus like Fareed Zakaria. It's like, oh, I made a point. It's like, well,
Well, sure.
So he's saying like he's talking about the urban-rural chasm in France, Italy, Britain, other Western countries, and it's likely to get worse. Research suggests that the use of robots does in fact reduce employment by about 6 workers for 1 machine. Shocking. Metro areas, okay. People.
What's that fucking meme where it's like it's not a meme. It's an Onion article that's
Jeremy
like
on that meme.
on that meme. Actually, not Onion article. Where it's like news break. Worst person in the world makes good point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically that. So here we go. I mean, he's not really actually saying anything here. So he's saying that if you go to the rural part of the Midwest, typically the main source of employment are government and healthcare, which is also partly funded by the government. People in these areas are often described as being irrational at the ballot box. In the United States, they vote for a party that promises tax cuts for the rich and benefit cuts for the working class, i.e. them. Some guy points out that the 2017 Republican tax law essentially subsidizes companies to automate. In Europe, contradictory proposals are adopted from the left and right. But this may simply reflect a more generalized anxiety, a blind search for someone who promises them a better future. Yeah. And so the last paragraph is, in Yuval Harari's new book, 21 Lessons for the 21st Century, the Israeli historian points out that the 3 most powerful 20th century ideologies, fascism, communism, and democratic capitalism, that's a contradiction in terms, goofy, put the ordinary person in the center, promising him or her a glorious future. But today, we seem to need a handful of brainiacs who will, with computers and robots, chart a course for the future. So in France, in Britain, in the United States, the ordinary person who doesn't have a fancy degree, who doesn't attend TED Talks, who doesn't have... as if that's like... What,
Known revolutionary fucking media.
TED.
Well, no, I think he's saying that like the common person is no longer valued in
Right.
current society.
Who doesn't have capital or connections will reasonably wonder, where does that leave me? To that question, no one has a good answer.
Read Lenin and Marx.
read Lenin, read Marx.
My thoughts on it are basically that, yeah, like there could be a moment, like there's something happening in France that, like, if the left was organized under like a hardline
Like
Marxist
a party, maybe that like could
like
take
it's like
the
it's like a
forefront,
central
take the
attitude that's
lead.
decided democratically.
Yeah, what would be like a term for that?
Maybe like a, I don't know, like maybe a guard that would kind of lead.
yeah, like the front guard, like the
group.
front guard. Was there a
Yeah,
word
that's
like
kind
that
of
could
a
be
lame term though.
Yeah, maybe like a vanguard.
There
a
you go.
vanguard.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go.
Maybe if
You
there
could
was
take
a
the van.
vanguard party leading the French uprisings, we could have some actual shit happen.
Weird.
Exactly. Because I mean, yeah, you've got
Sounds
so many
authoritarian.
people. You've got so many people out in the streets in France. Like they could,
They could seize state power.
They could seize state power. Exactly. If they had the organization of a Marxist-Leninist party.
Wah, wah.
We actually have a hype button. Just
But it's so far away. It's so. Fuck off.
Okay. All right. So that was. There were some takes there. So I think we're gonna move on to the mailbag.
all right.
So let's do the mailbag. We'll answer a few questions from our patrons. Who these are. So if you have questions, you can either, if you're not in the Discord, I recommend you get in the Discord because we have a whole channel for it. But if you're not, then you can just send us an email, or soon we'll have a website that you'll be able to.
Slide into those DMs.
Yeah, or that. So all right, let's see what we got here. So Bryn asks, "Is there any good time to call someone a tanky?" Lol.
Lol.
When they're your friends and you're also a tanky.
I mean, that's the thing is that like tanky, we've kind of reclaimed tanky.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, back in the 80s and all the way through the 90s and the early 2000s, like no one would accept the name emo. Like you could call someone emo, but no one would claim I'm emo or that my band is emo. Like nobody would do that. but as the revival happened, everybody's like, I've got a new emo band. I'm doing an emo revival band. And so in that way, tanky is very similar, right? Like nobody wanted to be called a tanky until very recently. And now everybody's like, yeah, I'm a fucking tanky.
Well, I mean, and when you look at where the name Tanky came from, it's like, oh, the
Right.
Hungarian uprising. Well, you know what that uprising was about? It was about, they were doing fucking like pogroms and
Right.
Yeah, so
I mean,
like the Soviet Union
it's
was right to
complicated,
send in the
quote,
tanks.
unquote, yeah, but
I
they
mean,
were
like it was
fascists.
complicated, but like ultimately, I would say it was good to crush
Sure.
that because it was fucking fascists.
Yeah.
So yeah, be a tanky, be proud of being a tanky.
It was the European Trotskyists that came up with the term tanky.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
And that's going to play nicely into our. We could do a whole episode on that.
Yeah.
Hey.
Just wait. Hidden File asks, how do you all organize yourselves locally?
Well, that's prescient.
Should we?
Oh,
Plead the fifth.
yeah. No, let's do it.
All right.
Today, actually.
Today, yeah, literally today, we just signed our resignation to our local organization, essentially calling out bullshit for the white masculinity kind of behavior and patriarchal behavior that is perpetrated within CSS. We're calling them out by name, I guess. Oh no, we can believe that.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're socialists in Colorado Springs. There's only one organization
Yeah.
right now.
Exactly. So, I mean, we're going to organize because that's what you should be organizing, but I'm not organizing within, after we get our shit together and like after I don't feel as defeated and I feel like everyone else feels the same way.
It's going to be several months, I think, at least down the road before we start organizing locally again. But
I think the biggest issue that I've noticed with local organizing is that like left unity is good insofar as building coalitions and like people that have ostensibly the same ideas as you. But when it comes down to principled like Marxism, Leninism, I'm sick of the fucking takes that some people have that just don't actually defend actually existing socialism, that don't defend ideas of decolonization and anti-imperialism, and all those things are only approached by MLs and MLMs. And I'm done trying to organize with trots, with anarchists, with DemSocs. Like, I'll go to the same marches, I'll go to the same rallies. Like when it comes time to, have picket lines and do all those things, I'll be there with them.
fight fascists.
Yeah, but as an organization, like I left unity has
Right.
consistently failed.
Right. Educating. I mean, Lenin has a quote. Read Lenin. Read Marx.
We really need that shirt.
Unity is a great thing and a great slogan, but what the workers' cause needs is the unity of Marxists, not unity between Marxists and opponents and distorters of Marxism. And that basically sums it up. I mean, when you're talking about a party structure, the function of a party is to lead the people forward, correct? I mean, certainly for Marxist-Leninists, it's to lead the charge, to be a vanguard.
I thought the function of a party was to celebrate and have fun and get drunk with your friends.
Well, that's why we have Prolspot.
That's the function of Pulse
So if you want to build coalitions with other like liberal organizations to fight fascism or
Like achieve,
crony
like,
capitalism
specific-
or whatever the hell that you want to do, that's fine. But as far as I'm concerned, and I think I speak for the entire table, when I say that the organization of a party structure needs to be principled so that every contradiction that it runs up against, it can assess that through the lens of dialectical materialism and historical materialism.
Well, and we just talked about this a second ago with France, like specifically, and like there's a moment happening there, and there isn't the party organization. The contradictions here in the U.S. they're only going to continue to like heighten. Like shit's gonna get worse before it ever gets better, and like I think there is an opportunity if we can get a big like principled organization like with a unified vision of what they're moving towards. There's an opportunity, but like. That doesn't exist right now.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tim.
Oh,
Off, Tim.
Not sorry,
Sorry,
Tim.
not
Go
sorry.
fuck yourself.
Sorry,
Horace.
not sorry, Tim.
If you give us
Come
our,
on, Pearl's
like, if you give
Pod,
us
Tim
your
Horace,
money
we're gonna destroy you.
and you listen to this somehow, like, yeah, fuck you still.
Yeah.
do it.
All right. How do you respond when you're destroyed by facts and logic from Comrade Sniff? I get really upset and Yeah, that's
Jeremy
that,
blocks folks.
Do what? I
Jeremy
block
blocks folks.
when it gets
Justin
destroyed
blocks
by-
people on Twitter.
Yeah, I
Facts.
block
They're like,
people on
actually, the
Twitter.
whole Holodomor happened, and he's like, damn, I'm owned, and blocks.
I like spam gifs at people and then just block them.
Yeah, dabbing Squidward is the best.
Yeah, no, it never happens because we have facts and logic on our side.
Yo.
Like that's the funny thing. Obviously, I think we all have those like reactionary family members that are gonna be like, oh well, like you just like have to get mad and raise your voice or like walk out of the conversation. So I've won, and it's like you can't just bury your head in the sand and say you've won. Like that's all it ever comes down to
Well,
on their
it's-
side.
I mean, it's debate shit. Like it's
Right.
like people fetishize like the attitude of debate. It's like, oh well, you're emotional. I've won.
Right,
coward.
right,
Like
yeah.
when we're talking, like we're not talking about purely abstract things. We're talking about like people's lives. We're talking about things that affect like our lives, our friends' lives, our families' lives, like the lives of people around the world. The planet. If you get emotional about that, like that's normal and good. And
cool.
so when people are like, "Oh, you're emotional. Facts don't care about your feelings."
Are you
Boo.
mad?
Are you mad?
Are you mad,
Yeah,
bro?
exactly. Like that is the most like privileged fucking shit. It's bullshit.
Nope.
That's not how like conversation. That's not how discourse works. It's fetishizing a very specific like upper class white way of discourse.
Right. Nothing affects me.
Exactly. It's all purely theoretical.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's that like one of my favorite quotes I think from any communist ever is Che, and he said, "If you tremble with indignation at every injustice, then you are a comrade of mine." Like being mad, being furious, like being livid is
Inspiration.
a really good thing. Oh Jesus! I pull up on my phone and it's right there.
It's on our vision board.
It's written on the wall of the Pulse pod.
That quote is on our wall. Yeah, but no, it's being mad is not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign that you've lost some kind of argument or that you're not fully in control of your sensibilities to make these points. It just means you're fucking mad and for good reason.
You're a
honestly,
human fucking
Exactly.
being.
like
Exactly.
good God.
How did we get from that like extremely goofy ass question to like serious ass shit? And
How
we
do you,
always-
That's what we do.
how do you
Yeah.
respond? Because we're
when it's a serious question, we joke about it, and when it's a joke question, we take it seriously.
Ezra _ apparently asked, Prol to Prol, what's the best La Croix flavor?
Thank you, loyal fan.
I really like lemon, honestly.
Ew, what?
Wow.
Why?
I like-
wow.
I like-
It's a basic one.
I like-
Just drink
Listen,
Sprite.
I'm not a fancy.
Oh, call the fuck out.
It's too much sugar. It's too much sugar.
I know, but it's like lo-fi. It's just Sprite.
All La Croix is lo-fi.
But listen, these are like high quality. Like apricot is like hi-fi.
I
I
like-
like the peach
I like
pear one.
coconut.
Is that okay?
Coconut's
Coconut's
great.
good.
Yes.
Critical support for Peach Pear. Absolutely.
Yeah, peach pear is good. Peach pear. is
Peach
good.
pear,
Full
but my.
disclosure, I've never actually tried La Croix.
Damn,
Do you want to
dude.
try apricot? Okay, in real time, Justin is trying La Croix.
Oh, my
Everyone,
God.
start
Everyone
your
ready.
engines.
Get ready.
Get that button ready.
Get ready. Get ready.
No, don't do this.
It tastes like I just made out with someone who had a lollipop.
That's funny. Wow.
But actually, my favorite flavor is a lime just farted half a mile away.
I prefer the coconut that you can't quite
Coconut's
tune
great.
in on a staticky TV.
Okay, but low key
Blackberry that heard some rumors of what a blackberry looks like.
mango that fell from a tree thousands of miles ago. Actually, mango is my favorite flavor. Ezra, thank you for asking. I appreciate you.
Okay. Let's see here. Comrade Sniff asks, will you do an entire episode on the NEP and why all those who have a different interpretation are cowards?
I don't
No,
really. Whatever.
Probably not.
Probably not.
We've talked about the
We talked.
NEP.
We talk about the Soviet Union so much.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm sure it'll come up again because it was an
Didn't
important part.
we
of
talked
their-
about the NEP on the Stalin episode.
We talked about
and the fall of the
We did-
Soviet
we did that.
Union, too.
and the fall Soviet Union.
Yeah, we talk about the NEP a lot.
Yeah.
Who is this person? Have they listened to us before?
Yeah. We could do a whole episode on that suggestion. Makhno / Ukrainian Black Army.
Can we talk about the fact that like Makhno made everyone call him daddy? That's what Batko means in fucking Ukrainian. His father.
I don't like that.
It's weird. It's fucking weird. Yeah.
What's up? What's up? At sexual socialist.
Daddy Dom Machno.
All right, moving right on.
Gross.
Rain asks, favorite font?
Times New Roman classic.
True.
Times New
Really?
Roman.
Really?
Times
Okay.
New Roman is my favorite.
I mean, like,
I'm with you.
No, I mean like it's a classic.
it's
like,
a beautiful. It's a
solid-
very like. It's good. It's good.
No, it's a good one. I like it. I like it.
Man.
I'm
Yeah.
a big fan of wingdings.
No, I really like sans serif fonts, honestly.
Papyrus.
Helvetica.
Helvetica's like
Helvetica
it's a lot
for
of shit
life.
'cause It's overused, but like it's a good font.
Fuck Ariel. That's all I got to say
Yeah.
about that.
Courier New also can fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are bad. I'm trying to.
I like how we have really strong opinions about
No,
fonts.
so, okay, listen. One of
Jeremy
my-
has strong opinions about pasta shapes.
I do have strong.
We're not talking about that.
fuck,
We're
I
not
forgot
talking
about that.
Nope.
It's like a whole day. That was a whole day.
We could do a whole episode on my feelings about pasta shapes.
That.
I mean, if you get any like small group of communists in a room, they're probably gonna have opinions on fucking everything. And
Violent opinions.
No, I think my favorite font, which is the one I use on all of my like theater company like products and materials. It's Gothic 720 Light. It's really good.
Gothic Light's good.
Yeah, it's a good font. I love it. It's very clean. It's very.
I like
it's
Gothic
readable.
Narrow too. That's
Comic Sans slaps.
Well, so here's the thing. I was actually reading something today about how Comic Sans is like really good for people who have dyslexia because all the letters are shaped differently, and so it's easier for people to read. They were suggesting that if you have trouble like writing stuff, when you're writing it, you put it in Comic Sans because it'll help your brain, and then you can change it at the end.
Y'all remember
I
Doge?
mean, that's cool.
What?
Remember Doge?
The meme?
The meme?
Yeah.
Dogecoin?
That was they used Comic Sans on all of their memes.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I thought that wasn't Impact like all the other
No,
memes?
it was
Wow.
Comic Sans. Yeah,
Damn.
That's true.
yeah, weird shit.
Um,
All comes back to memes, y'all. That's all that matters.
amazing. All right. Southern Comfort asks, "What's the Proles origin story? How did you form as a team and decide to start this format? of
Avengers
podcast?"
Assemble.
I mean, I wasn't
Justin,
there.
you want
so
to take it because
yeah,
it was
this
sort of your
was-
suggestion.
This is your baby.
Basically, our local organization that we just withdrew from. One of
just
the great
yeeted our way
ideas.
out of.
One of the great ideas that the people at this table had to help bring people into the organization was to have like monthly meetings at a brewery where we would just sit down and drink. So people felt like disarmed,
Yeah.
so they weren't like.
Except for the first time I went, there was like some libertarian kid that showed up, and like I remember leaving,
that
and
dude.
Jeremy was about to like actually like deck this dude, and
Justin
yeah,
was about to physically
like
Oh,
there was a
yeah.
fight that was on. So like,
Well, then there was another time where like all the Proud Boys were in their like
Oh,
suits
God,
of
yes.
armor across the street.
Yeah, the fucking
Anyway.
yeah. The
so it was a great idea because we did bring a lot of people into the fold
Right.
through drinking with
Justin's
comrades.
almost gotten into fights twice at the brewery meetings. But anyway, we had these meetings and we were all radicalizing at the same time, and we were all reading a lot because we had gone through our theory stage where we learned like the theories of Marxism. And so we were going through the like, well, what about, this country or that country or this figure or that figure? And so a lot of the conversations that happened here were like 3-hour conversations on different figures or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what we talked about the entire time. And then when we started hanging out a lot more outside of these brewery meetings where we were just hanging out with each other, we did the same thing where we would just get drunk and talk about these same figures. And so basically I was like, we should do like a drunk history,
Yeah,
but communist history,
right.
and record it.
And that's why those first episodes are so rough, is because it was legitimately just getting drunk and talking.
We
history.
didn't start recording until we had like 6 or 7 beers, so it was like
Right.
brutal.
Because initially we were literally like, let's do drunk leftist history.
Yeah.
Let's do like drunk history, but with leftism. And so we initially were like, well, we can't really like afford to do like videography and video editing and whatever to
yeah,
like
stick
recreate
figures.
them. So we did like YouTube flash animated stick figures and shit at a table and like,
Which took like 80
oh
hours.
God, yeah, 60 to 80 hours for like, it was Justin and 8 Hop who did that for literally 60 to 80 hours per episode, which is why
They
we
were like a
stopped
month
doing
apart,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, they were like a month apart and we stopped doing that.
Well, yeah, and then there was a long gap, and I was like, I hadn't been on any of the episodes, so I was like, guys, we should get this going again. Like, that's a cool idea. And I hadn't listened to any of the episodes, but I was like, it's a cool idea. Like, it's a cool idea. And then I was at a brewery with I was at Cerberus with you guys, and I was talking about the probe on Venus, and Justin was like, you got to come on the podcast and talk about this. I was like, oh fuck, okay. And now
Here we go.
I'm here.
Yeah. But we all met through the organization, and then we just like split off as like hardcore MLs.
The first like the first 2, 3, maybe no, the first 3 episodes we recorded. First 2 episodes we recorded, we had a single mic in the middle of the table. Yeah. Wild shit. Just one
real
mic in the middle of the table,
microphone,
so bad. Like sounds like you're like yelling into a tin can.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's like the guests on Rev Left Radio. No, all right. Favorite Dad Man asks favorite tendency to argue with.
Other
Has
MLs.
5 Bryce reacts, 7 Bones reacts, and 4 Trotsky reacts.
Oh shit. I hate, honestly,
I don't like arguing because I get anxious
Me
and
too.
cry.
Yeah.
I used to love
No
arguing,
joke.
but after
No,
like
it's
5 years of doing it, I'm so
Yeah,
tired of it.
I'm pretty tired of it as well.
So
I
I don't really enjoy arguing with other leftists anymore. That's why I just ignore them.
I like principled arguments with other MLs.
That's,
ML.
Like
that's a legit answer.
I think that's the best answer. Is like
would
arguing with trots or arguing with
I
anarchists
think most
is
entertaining people to argue with might be a better question, like as far as like
liberals.
more of a shit show.
Bryce,
Bryce.
Yeah,
you
it's
need to unblock him.
it's
I miss
probably libertarians because
Oh, yeah.
they never back down. They have
Right.
like
Oh
an
my
answer
God.
for everything.
They've got like endless energy.
yes.
him. Yeah, it's
Because they're all like
Comes from
privileged
white
white
privilege.
dudes. Yeah.
They've got endless white privilege energy.
amazing.
I don't have to worry about shit.
Here's a good one. Rain asks, which is the most bougie beer? Which is the least?
Like in the world.
I don't know. I think Rain is also in the U.S., so maybe we can limit it to the U.S.
It's probably a European beer though.
Well,
it's probably like some
Connor
like
should be the
No.
last
Monk
answer. 'cause
brewed,
He's gonna have an actual
like
answer.
fucking
No, those ones are like super inexpensive though. Like monk beers,
monks don't
like
give a shit about making
especially
money.
if you're buying them in like Europe, like
Probably.
they're really inexpensive.
here. They're expensive though.
Well,
yeah, 'cause
yeah,
they're
the
imported.
import. Yeah, I would say honestly, like, and I'm gonna keep it short,
Tiller's a
Justin.
brewer.
Yeah, no, I brew professionally.
You're not gonna do the 10-minute answer on your favorite.
No.
Fuck off.
And I'll just edit it out to whatever.
I like beer.
So
I like beer.
there's a brewery that's in rural Pennsylvania that I really like, but is very expensive and very inaccessible. They're called Scratch, and they make really like wild, crazy beers that use like foraged ingredients only and stuff like that.
Wow.
Well, they recently wrote like a manifesto that you can purchase online about what farmhouse beer should be.
Oh God.
And it's like motherfuckers, like farmhouse beer originated in like rural Belgium. Like I don't really know if you're the best like group of people selling $18 like 375 bottles
God.
as the like this is what farmhouse beer is. So I would say anybody who takes beer that seriously, like whatever brewery it might be at. And again, I love their beers, but I also don't buy them a whole lot because I'm not going to drop $18 on like 12 ounces. So it's stuff like that.
Paradox for me. I love their beer, but it's so goddamn expensive.
Yeah, and the thing is that like if you go up there, you'll typically be able to like drink a lot less like
We should
expensive.
go up there. It's so cool.
It's a really like fun place, and I'm good friends with Jeff Ehrman, the brewer. So I'm not gonna.
Record an episode in the brewery.
The least bougie beer is all the shit I drink because I don't know jack shit about beer.
Yeah,
Just like that superior drinkability.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I guess just the cheapest beer that you can find that tastes okay.
Like I mean,
Tsingtao,
Tsingtao's pretty good.
Malt liquor is like.
malt liquor,
Colt
Mickey's,
45.
Mickey's, yeah, the hand grenades.
Yep.
Another alcohol question: favorite cider? Jeremy already answered this in the
Did I?
Bulmers.
Oh, Bulmers is pretty good. Yeah,
Colorado.
I was drunk when I answered that.
Colorado Cider Company, I think it's called,
Yes.
has Grasshopper.
Oh, Grasshopper's
Which is
so good.
very
Which is
good.
it's probably a little bit racist, honestly. The name.
Oh, it's totally
It's fucking
racist.
racist.
oh,
'cause
there's
it's like
the
Mr. Miyagi
grasshopper has
grasshopper.
it's
Yeah. But the
But it's
the
like a
cider
dry.
is
It's
so
a dry
fu-
hop cider, and it's really good.
Yeah. The hops cut
Um,
like the sweetness of the cider, which is good.
Oh fuck, this is a good question. All right, so still Mountain Dew fan, asks, you get to live in a currently existing socialist country of your choice. Which do you choose and why? This is a good one. This is a good
This is
one.
a really good one.
Like currently today.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
Currently
this is a
existing.
very difficult one too.
I'm gonna yeet my way straight to the DPRK and die in a nuclear holocaust in the next 10 years.
Yeah, that's
Bummer.
I also would go to the DPRK.
I'd probably go to. I think honestly, I'd go to Cuba.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
Cuba's on the decline, homie.
no, like
That's what that distant
That's what that
lord
guy
said.
in the Rev Left Discord said.
That like weird ass dude in the Discord
Said what?
said that Cuba's on the decline.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great.
Oh, Justin agrees.
Justin
That
agrees
guy
with
was actually
Distant
Justin on his other account.
I mean, no,
Distant
they've
Lord.
improved since the like early thousands, but they're
they were in a
still
rough
not
time.
in a good place.
Well,
Well, here's the thing: is like between both of those, you're going to a place that has great education, it has
Sure.
great social structure, and they're the only two countries that are actively fighting climate change in any real sense.
yeah,
China
Cuba.
is too.
China
well,
is as
but
well.
Cuba,
Well, yeah.
Cuba just got declared by I think it was like by the UN as the only ecologically sustainable country on
Yeah.
the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's net zero. Like they're killing the game
Just
there.
legit. That's
But
amazing as
I
fuck.
I would choose the DPRK as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
probably Cuba for me as well.
Same.
Only because like for the culture.
So we'll have the DPRK branch of proles and the Cuba branch of proles.
You've just split the party.
No, we're still skyping in. It'll be
We'll
good.
we'll go to Cuba in 2020.
I want to go to Cuba so bad.
I want to go. I'll
yeah.
cry. I'm about to.
It would be a blast. I remember Brett had a guest on once that was talking about like sitting down with like a baseball player in Cuba and just being like this old dude who played baseball was like a revolutionary, and he's just like, we still live by revolutionary principles today. Like that's so fucking amazing.
I've told this story to most of you, but I don't think I've ever told it on the mic. Is that like I had a friend, I got like an internet friend who went to Cuba in like 2011.
I think you have told the story on the mic before.
No, I didn't.
I think so.
Which episode?
I don't remember.
Was
But
it?
I
Go
think
back
you
and
told
listen.
I'll go back and listen.
It
If I
doesn't
did, I'll
matter.
cut
Nobody's
it out.
gonna remember
No.
because we're all drunk.
But so I I had an internet friend who went to Cuba in like 2010 or 2011 and like, was just walking around Havana talking to people and like meets this like cab driver or just I think it was a cab driver, and he was talking about like where all these different things in Havana are, and he's like, so where does Fidel live? And this cab driver like pounds his chest and says, in the hearts of 10 million Cubans, and I'm just like, "Ah!" Amazing.
That's awesome.
So yeah, no, that's a good question. Who is the better shit poster, Marx, Stalin, or Lenin? It's gotta be Lenin, right?
Lenin.
Oh, Lenin's
I don't know.
polemics.
I mean,
just-
Marx-
well,
I-
Tough, 'cause
Marx-
Marx talked a lot of shit and like was like fucking with everyone constantly.
yeah, but like I think
Lenin's got the spiciest.
the quality of
I don't know, man. Like so let's call out egoism on Proles Pod.
Do it. It's
Like in the
about
German
time.
in the German ideology, Marx calls out Saint Max, which is Max Stirner, because he's like you have rejected religion, you have rejected this past of Hegel and idealism. He's like, but you offer no materialist solutions to anything, so you are still living in a world of ideology. And so he keeps like or not ideology, of idealism, and so he keeps referring to him over and over as Saint Max, Saint Max, Saint Max,
Yeah.
like constantly. So I don't know. It's
I don't know.
between him and Lenin.
I think any of the polemics that Lenin wrote in response to Kautsky are just fucking fire.
He
They're
wrote a whole
so
like
good.
fucking the ultra leftism and infantile disorder.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, no,
Stalin
and,
was like
Stalin
too
was-
respectful to be.
He honestly was like
Yeah.
he was not a shit poster at all.
No,
Like he was
always like considerate and like not that he wouldn't call like out a problem, but he was not like he wasn't
was
like
not
Lenin.
petty,
and,
like-
yeah,
He wasn't like
Well, and then
he
what-
wasn't like Lenin and Marx.
What's the exact quote from the letter from Lenin to Stalin?
yeah.
Where it's just like oh, by the way,
Trotsky has written a silly letter and we will not respond.
amazing. So funny. Yeah.
We shall neither read it nor respond.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Okay. Let's
Publish
see
it?
here.
Is it publish? I think it might be publish.
Publish it or respond. I think. Yeah.
Trotsky has sent a silly letter. We shall neither publish it nor respond.
All right. Last question for today. And this is a good one. This is from All Patents to the Soviets, Jocelyn.
Ew.
She asks, do any of you have a favorite poem or short story related even tangentially to Marxism?
Ooh, I got a good one. All right.
Go for
not
it.
Not really.
I
but
gotta find mine.
this
I want to read mine.
It's
out
not
loud.
really like related tangentially to Marxism, but it's related to like my development as a human being, and it's going to come from a weird place. So, when I was in 10th grade, we lived in Korea, in the lesser Korea, and
low energy Korea.
low energy Korea, and we lived on a bombing range, and there was no school anywhere nearby, And for a long time, my mother had already been like homeschooling Justin and I, but she was tired as fuck because we were stupid and rowdy.
Not unlike we are now.
Not unlike we are now. And so she ordered these. She ordered these correspondence courses that came on video cassette, and so they came from Pensacola Christian School. So shout out to Pensacola Christian School. And so they were recorded like education, like whatever 10th grade lectures. And in the English class, one of the required readings was this short story by Hemingway. And it's about him flying from New York to Paris and landing at like 3:00 in the morning. And he gets in this cab, and the cab driver is just like speeding through these Paris streets at like 45 miles an hour, however fast a fucking car went in the 1930s. 40s, maybe 30s. Anyway, so he's just like speeding through these streets, and they get to like a stoplight, and the cab driver just like blasts through the stoplight. And Hemingway is like, what the fuck? And starts like grabbing his seat. And so then like the cab driver gets to another stoplight, and it's red, and he just goes like straight through it again. And Hemingway's like, if he does this again, I'm going to fucking yell at him. And so then it goes through another stoplight, and he's like, what are you doing? Like, did you not see those stoplights? And he's like, the cab driver responds, I'm not a machine. And I was like, my little like 15-year-old brain was like, you mean you don't have to obey the rules if they don't make sense? I was like, holy shit, I can do anything, which is of course like a super like teenage anarchist response. But it comes back to sort of like people are not machines, right? And if the rules or whatever are not moral, it's sort of the same kind of like attitude, I think, and it maybe focused in a different direction. And that like little instance was super important to my development because I was a very like risk averse, rule following child, as Justin can probably attest to. Like I was not somebody who would have like tried to beat the shit out of a Nazi or like, you know, been a communist or like any of these things. And that like one little moment was like triggered some kind of thing in my brain that shifted me forever.
Yeah.
All right.
First time hearing that story.
Oh wow, no, that's a good one. Thank you for sharing.
Really? I've never told that before.
No.
One of my favorite. Oh god, I have so many like Marxism and communism related poems that I like, but probably one of my favorites is "In Praise of Communism" by Bertolt Brecht. Who we're not gonna do a whole episode just on him, but I'm gonna talk about him a lot when we do our leftist art thing. I'm just gonna read it because it's short. It's "In Praise of Communism." It is reasonable. You can grasp it. It's simple. You're no exploiter, so you'll understand. It is good for you. Look into it. Stupid men call it stupid, and the dirty call it dirty. It is against dirt and against stupidity. The exploiters call it a crime, but we know it is the end of all crime. It is not madness, but the end of madness. It is not chaos, but order. It is the simple thing that's hard to do.
Damn.
So basically, read Lenin, read Marx.
Yeah, well, that's what Brecht would say. Anybody else? Anybody else have any poems? I can read like three.
No.
I'm gonna.
No, Ethan.
What are you gonna do? Fuck off. This is my moment.
Stop dabbing.
No, I don't really read poetry. I've never been into it. I've written a lot of it, but mostly as like a cathartic. What do you want to say? Like tool. I don't really enjoy reading it. Short stories, same thing. Like for me, I crave character development, so
Yeah.
it's hard for me to want to read short stories because you can't get very much character development in those.
I feel the same way, honestly.
So I don't really have any good answer to this. I've had books certainly that have influenced me, but not short stories or poems.
Yeah, it's not that I don't like poetry or anything. It's just it's one of those things where you kind of have to hedge your time as far as what you want to spend your waking hours on. So like maybe not poetry, but and I've probably said this before, but like The Coup, Boots Riley's hip hop group. I think a lot of what he does is poetic in nature, and like he helped radicalize me. So honestly, like the the entirety of the Coos discography, I guess. I don't know. Like that's like a really lame way to like
I
say like, oh, poetry and music are like totally the same, which is not
Hold
true
on,
at all.
changing
But
my
like,
answer.
It's less similarity, though.
but like something like that, you know, like I definitely, and short stories, like I like short stories a lot, and like I have a lot that I really enjoy, but I don't know if any are like even tangentially related to communism in any sense that I, you know, maybe I'll go back and read some and just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Two more I'll recommend. So there's a book. I'm not gonna read it because it's a short book of
I'm
poetry.
gonna read a book real quick.
No, it's a short one. I could. No, it's by Olive Blackburn, and her book is "Communism is Up There and We Are Down Here, but It Is Happening Now." It's just
Okay.
it's some good like leftist ass poetry.
Leftist ass poetry? Nice.
No, I'm good because I don't want that on there. No. Do you have any poems?
I just forgot who wrote it.
I
And it's
like
it's not just like I guess Marxist or communism, but like was feminist also. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to
well
remember.
while you're looking, I'll just like talk shit for a couple minutes because
Oh, because I got one more.
so like
Oh, you don't matter.
I tend towards like romantic poetry, like
Okay.
not like you know what I mean, like the romantic
Yeah, yeah,
period
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever, where it's all like
Yeah.
you know. I but in terms of short
John
stories, I'm
Keats
kind
and
of the
shit.
same, right? Yeah, like I'm not super into like the more modern era of poetry.
I love modern poetry.
Oh, you know what? I would say that like I think in a similar sense to what Jeremy went through, around the same time, probably like 10th or 11th grade, we had to read a collection of short stories by Borges, Luis Borges,
Jorge Luis Borges.
Jorge Luis Borges. And like it's all like magical realism, like very surreal, and
Was that Labyrinth?
I think it is Labyrinth.
Good book.
Yeah, and there's
book.
like a ton of them, but like there's one. It's called like The Ticket, and it's I think back then I really associated it more with like determinism and like free will and what that means for like choice and stuff like that. But I think that kind of broke me free from you know the idealism of American politicking and like you know when you're like 14, 15. That would have been around the time of Obama's first elections, like 2008.
Yeah.
And it was like everybody was just like, you know, it was like divisive within the school of like who was going to win, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, it was reading something like Borges that was just like, oh shit, like maybe just like step back a little bit and like re-examine the choices that we make and like how we make them.
No, that's awesome.
Maybe in a lesser sense of like what was talked about during the history of history, you know,
Yeah.
episode is just like, re-examine how you consume your history.
Yeah. No, that's good. Borges is one more short one that I really like. That's it is modern, so I like modern poetry a lot. But-
I take it back. I do like some.
no, and I
but
mean, and it's not
my
for, like,
favorite poetry is
Yeah,
like,
no, and it's totally fair. Like different.
we have you on record, so
I like
No, but
Robert
so,
Frost's Mending Wall.
Langston Hughes wrote a lot of like really good communist poetry, and like he walked some of it back after he got like reamed by the House Un-American Activities Committee. So I'm not gonna be too mad. Like it was rough out there, but this is his poem called Lenin. It's Lenin walks around the world. Frontiers cannot bar him. Neither barracks nor barricades impede, nor does barbed wire scar him. Lenin walks around the world. Black, brown, and white receive him. Language is no barrier. The strangest tongues believe him. Lenin walks around the world. The sun sets like a scar. Between the darkness and the dawn, there rises a red star.
Damn.
Fuck.
Nice.
Communist
Lenin's
poetry is
Superman.
awesome.
Yeah. So cool. And so we can probably, and so I think that does it for our mailbag. Like we still got a bunch of questions that we'll save, and you can keep adding more. We'll do these every time. Like we really enjoy answering them.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's a lot of fun. So we're gonna move on to our last segment for the evening. Is we could do a whole episode on that where we do like a historical thing, but not a full 3 hours like we normally do. Just a kind of a brief thing. And so Jeremy is gonna tell us about the history of the T-34 tank.
Yeah.
Real tanky hours.
Yeah, so it's going to be more focused on its designers. So this guy's name was Mikhail Koshkin. So he was born December 3rd in 1898. when he was very young, 7 years old. His father died in a timber cutting accident, and so his mother had to go to work like night and day, like work like 18 hours a day just to provide for her children, because they had Mikhail had many brothers and sisters. But he had to then go to work to help support his family. And so he worked at this candy factory from, I think he started when he was like 9 years old. And he worked until 1914. So he would have been 16 at that time, when he was then conscripted by the imperialist army to join in World War I. So he was a like devoted hardline communist, and so as soon as the imperialist government fell, he was like ready to fucking go, and he enlisted in the Red Army in 1918. But while he was serving, his like commanders, the people above him, noticed that he was like a sharp kid and like, you know, knew what he was doing and could handle himself well. They were like, you need to go to college. Like, you know, you missed out on your education in your youth. Let's get you to college. So they sent him to the Moscow Communist University, from which he graduated in 1924. So it took a bit longer than it probably would have for like. But again, we're talking about somebody who did not complete like a conventional education in his youth. He was then sent back to be the manager of a candy factory in the Soviet Union.
Whack.
And
What kind of candy?
I don't have an answer for that one. But Haribo. Whatever Soviet candy was going on there. So anyway, he's working as this candy factory manager, you know, which is of course like a huge step up from where he was before. But he's like this isn't where I end, right? He's like I'm gonna go beyond this. I feel like I'm wasting my talents here. So he applies to Leningrad Polytechnic, which was where they designed all of the automobiles and like rail cars and stuff. That was sort of like where you wanted to be if you were an engineer. And he graduated in 1934. He was recognized for like being this amazing like design engineer, like being able to put things together in ways that other people might not be able to see. In 1936, he was awarded the Order of the Red Star for his design capabilities specifically.
Hell yeah.
So he went to this place called Kharkiv, which was where they designed all the tanks in the Soviet Union. And he helped to design some of the early Soviet tanks, I think it was like, shit. Should have
You
written
don't
this
have to
down.
name them. It doesn't matter.
Anyway. So he designed some of the like early models of the Soviet tanks, or helped to. He wasn't the lead designer on it.
It's like our game when you're like, it's like our role playing game when you're like, oh, I've got a this is the model of gun I've got. fucking idiots.
So anyway, he helps to design some of these tanks, but he's not like the lead designer on it. He kind of like goes off on his own and he puts together the design of the T-34 and he sends it and he sends it to the Red Army and they're like, no, I don't think we're gonna use this. Sad. And he's like, well, fuck y'all, I'm gonna make it myself. So like on the premises of Kharkiv, he puts together a prototype like on his own,
Holy
just puts
shit.
together the T-34, and then he writes a letter to Stalin directly, and he's like, yo, I've got this badass tank. You got to see this shit.
I have read so many stories of like Soviet citizens just writing letters to Stalin
directly to
asking
Stalin.
for specific things.
Right. So he's like, yo, I made this tank and I built it myself.
I guess it's like adding Obama on Twitter.
And Stalin's like, yeah, I definitely want to see this shit. Bring it to Moscow.
So he just hops in a tank and drags.
Hang on, because what he should have done and what normal human beings would do is put it on a fucking train,
Truck or a train, yeah.
and take the fucking tank all the way to Moscow on a train. But this fucking like psychopath is like, I'm gonna drive it 800 kilometers to Moscow. He's like, because this will be the first test. So here's the oh god, it's raining like almost the whole way. He can't take bridges most of the time because the weight of the tank is too heavy. So he has to drive through rivers to get to fucking Moscow.
So he's just like solo driving this tank.
Driving this fucking tank all the way from Kharkiv to so 800 kilometers, right?
Wow.
So he gets there and they get on the test range and Stalin's like, okay, do this, like drive over this trench and
What year is this?
This was 1940, yeah.
Okay.
So and then Stalin is like, we want to test the cold weather capabilities. Drive your tank to Finland and back. And so he does. He just fucking drives his tank to Finland and comes back to check to make sure it doesn't like freeze up or seize up in the fucking winter. The depressing part about this is that he was already sick when he left Kharkiv. And like driving in the rain and through the rivers up to Moscow and then driving to Finland and back, his prototype didn't have a heater.
Oh, fuck.
So he caught pneumonia on these journeys. And so he ended up dying September 26, 1940 of the pneumonia that he contracted.
Did he make it back from Finland?
Yeah, he did all this shit. Like he completed all of the
They
tests.
adopted the tank.
They ended up, of course, adopting the T-34.
Damn.
So the first time that it was used like en masse was the German military. So let's jump back a little bit. So when the failure of Stalin, Molotov, Ribbentrop.
God damn.
When Molotov-Ribbentrop was signed and Poland was divided, Mikhail Koshkin was like, which country will Germany attack next? Nobody knows, but should it be us, then my T-34 will be our only hope.
Oh, man.
Right? So...
Help me, T-34. You're my only hope.
So, July 5th of 1943, the German, like all their tank divisions were focused on the city of Kursk. And they were going to seize the city, but also try to destroy as much of the Red Army as they possibly could. And luckily, however, the Soviet Union had intercepted their plans, and so they knew where they were going and what they were going to be doing. So they had 7,000 tanks ready to meet the fucking German army, most of which were T-34s that had been built between 1940 and 1943. Like we're talking about slightly less than 3 years they'd been building these, and not almost all, but most of the 7,000 tanks were T-34s, who had sort of been like hastily constructed and like ready to go. And they ended up defeating the German army, like housing them, because a lot of the German tanks had been built around strength over maneuverability, and the T-34 was both. Like it could blast through armor if they got in the right position, but they could also maneuver quickly. They were reliable. So huge debt of gratitude owed to Mikhail Koshkin. He was posthumously awarded the Stalin State Prize in 1942 for his contributions. But
Was
all
that the
around
one that Stalin paid out of his or that they? No, I guess it wouldn't have been at that point. Wasn't there a prize of Stalin paid out of his personal salary?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it though. It was the Stalin Award or the Stalin Prize. It might have been that.
Stalin State Prize.
Like
been.
it came out of his salary.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway,
He
around
hated
good
the
dude.
idea of that, having a prize named after him. So he
Paid it out of his own
yeah.
pocket.
He was like, well, the very least I can do is.
Yeah. But anyway, that's our man, Mikhail Koshkin.
So is it? Do you know about how China copied the T-34?
No.
And so the Chinese Type 58 tank was basically a copy of the T-34, and that actually there was a significant number of Chinese Chinese Type 58s that they sent to Vietnam to help fend off the American imperialists. And
Nice.
so it wasn't just the
Death to America.
So it wasn't just fighting the Nazis. It was also fighting the other evil power of the 20th century, the U.S. Cool. No, that's super. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
God, I love, and it's like just screenshots that I've seen on like leftist, left book and stuff like that. But like wearaboos that like want to fucking like talk about like, oh, like German tanks are like so amazing and superior to the Panzer. The Tiger, oh, so cool.
Oh, it's so good.
And it's just like, nah, man, you guys lost.
I mean, because like the T-34 was like, wasn't it the most deployed tank?
Yes,
of the,
it was
the most
in
produced.
the entirety of World War II.
Yeah,
the
not
most
just
produced
yeah.
tank.
That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so wild.
Yeah, and this guy was a fucking candy maker.
That's
had to
wild.
drop out of school to take care of his family. Worked in a candy factory.
Willy Wonka.
But that's the kind of stuff like you like.
Willy Wonka and the Tank Factory.
But like you talk about in the United States, like the American dream is you pull yourself up by your bootstraps,
Yeah.
you work hard enough, and you could be anyone you want to be, which is totally fucking untrue. In the United
Right.
States, it was true. In the Soviet Union,
Yeah.
fucking Mikhail Koshkin or Yuri Gagarin or like how many other
I mean,
fucking
there were
people?
so many stories of like. There were multiple stories specifically of tanks, like with people in the Soviet Union. Like,
Yeah.
what was that one woman's name? Where
Oh, God,
her
yes.
husband died like from a German.
I think it was her
invasion.
fiance because the name
Oh,
of
yeah.
the name of her tank was like
Fighting girlfriend.
Fighting girlfriend. Yeah.
No, so like her husband got killed by the Nazis, or her fiance got killed by the Nazis, and so she like sold all her shit
Yeah,
to like and gave
to
it
buy a
to
tank.
buy a tank, or gave it to the military, or gave it to the government. Was
Red
like buy
Army.
a tank, and then like she drove it
Yes.
with the crew, and
Yeah.
and like drove it into battle and got killed. Like I gotta find. I gotta find her name.
So she she was
do a whole
like
episode on her.
she went to the like she went
Oh,
to
here
the
we go. It's Mariah Oktoberskaya.
yeah. So she like went to the Red Army and was like, "Give me a fucking tank," and they were like, "What?" And she was like, I've sold everything I own. Buy a tank. I want to fucking pilot it. I want to drive this tank." And she had like some amount of confirmed kills that I can't remember off the top of my head. But she was like, she would get out, like jump out and repair her tank on the fly. Like learned how to be a fucking mechanic to fix her own tank. And that's how she died. She got hit with an anti-tank gun, like jumped out and was like repairing the tracks on her tank and then got shot
killed,
by that
yeah.
same anti-tank gun and died. Like
Yeah.
wild as shit.
Maria Oktoberskaya. Yeah, no, like it's
Well, and like,
the
what
people
about?
of the Soviet Union who fought, like
Real.
made so many sacrifices, and like there
Real.
were some amazing heroes
Well,
who
like,
defeated the Nazis.
Any big name Soviet citizen that we talk about, Lyudmila Pavlichenko or Mikhail Kalishnikov, like all these people that are like important names with what like led the Soviet Union to almost like entirely single-handedly winning the Second World War were people of like just destitute backgrounds. Like Kalishnikov was the 17th of 19 children. Like almost died when he was 6 years old, and then went to make the most like produced and replicated rifle ever that's been used in all kinds of struggles
Yeah.
the world across. Like that's
And then-
fucking wild.
Yeah, and then this guy, what was his name?
Mikhail Koshkin.
Yeah, Koshkin, like made candy and then became a designer
Yeah.
of the most. And then
So let me tell you a funny story. Like one of the sources that I used for like my research was a translated Russian article, and the name Koshkin means either cat or cat owner.
nice.
And so
Nice.
they repeatedly translated in the article Koshkin to cat. So it'd be like, Cat went to such and such to do this thing. Cat wanted to build the most, advanced tank he possibly could with
True.
and I'm like, what the
That's hilarious. Yeah, no, and then the Oktoberskaya, she worked at a cannery.
Shit.
And then she was a telephone operator before she married like an army officer. Yeah. No, and yeah, I'm like
Pavlichenko was like a college student. Like
Yeah.
she grew up in like a rural family, like went away to college and then was like, I'm gonna learn how to shoot. I want to be a sniper, and they were like, cool.
Yeah, well, and then Yuri Gagarin, like he was
Came from the soil and went to the stars.
yeah. No, I mean he was a pilot when he was a pilot when he was a little kid, but like his parents were like his mom was like a milkmaid, his
Yeah.
dad was a carpenter or something, and then like Valentina Tereshkova, first woman in space, like she worked at a factory. Yeah, like there's so many stories of these like
Yeah.
Soviet like folk.
Yeah, the
heroes.
US
Doesn't have to
like
be
the
like
US
engineering, like the people that, I mean, specifically with the space program, the people that went to space in the U.S. were like engineering geniuses,
Yeah.
top of their class.
like
Yeah.
like Air Force officers.
Yes, they almost all had to be like, and that's the reason I think that like every few years some fucking feel good movie comes out about the like 1 out of a million fucking people who made it from the bottom rungs of society to the
Yeah.
top. Because they need to be able to tell those lies to reinforce this like ideology.
Right.
But in the Soviet
You could be
Union,
Jeff
it was
Bezos.
Yeah, you could be
You're gonna
Jeff
pull yourself up
Bezos if you were
by your bootstraps.
Yeah, exactly. But in the Soviet Union, it was a constant thing. It wasn't like a 1 in a million anomaly. It was all the time. People like that were making it through.
And that man's name,
Albert
Joseph
Einstein.
Stalin.
Joseph Stalin. Steely Joe.
Joey Steele.
Steely Joe.
Here's my folk album. It's called From the Soil to the Stars.
It's called 5-Year Plan. All right. Amazing.
Dumb.
So I think that does it for this episode of Dialectics After Dark. Thank you all so much to like all of our patrons. The one, like you're the ones listening to this. That's how you're listening to this. It's because you're supporting us. No, like yeah. I mean, we were able to buy a mixer and these nice microphones. So hopefully you're noticing the stuff. Like we're gonna have a website next month, and then we're gonna start hosting things like audio. Like your money is having really like cool tangible effects.
Yes.
And it's really cool.
And it's not going into our pockets.
Yeah, we're putting it all back for stuff that
I
that
swear,
benefits
all of you better buy
I
a
still
copy
can't pay my
of Another View of
bills,
Stalin.
Yeah, and then we do have the Proles edition of Another View of Stalin by our patrons Violet and Nathan Bolshevik. Not written by them. Udo Martins wrote it, but but like putting it together. Yeah, no, and so there's a lot of stuff, and yeah, all the money goes back straight into the podcast, and we're
all broke as shit.
yeah, we're all still just like scrabbling and misrated. It's great, but no, but
Pod's doing great.
but the
But we got great microphones.
We're doing all right. The pod's doing great.
yeah, no, but I know that, I mean, we talk about this amongst ourselves constantly, just like how humbled and just how amazed we
did
are.
not expect this. We thought we might make enough to pay our Libsyn,
Which is like $15 a month. Yeah, because we were like, who's gonna listen to a bunch of drunk tankies
Yeah,
like arguing about Stalin and shit? But like, there's a lot of you, and we're trying to find new ways to like involve the community, and the Discord group is amazing, and a lot of people send us messages and emails and stuff that we cherish every single one of them.
Holy fuck, yeah.
It's unfucking believable.
One of the relatives of Karl Fuchs.
Klaus Fuchs.
Klaus
just,
Fuchs.
just so.
Yeah, that's a good story.
We just dropped the nuclear weapons episode, and last night on Twitter, someone DM'd us who's a distant relative of Klaus Fuchs, who was one of the spies for the Manhattan Project for the Soviet Union, and told us about how this that was one of the first times that he's heard this relative of his talked about in a positive light, and yeah,
we stand Klaus Fuchs hard.
Stan Klaus
Fucking
Fuchs.
red.
This guy Fuchs.
Stop. So bad. Ethan banned from hosting forever.
You say that all the time, but no,
we keep having him back. I just can't quit you.
No, but yeah, I mean, and we've had so many people just reach out to us and just share stories about how this has been meaningful to them, and that's so. I cannot describe to you how
The dude
edifying
said he
that
was
is.
radicalized by listening to the DPRK episode. I was like, you went from kindergarten to Stanford, and
an hour
I
and a half.
cannot understand how that happens. It took me years to get to that point. Go from
God.
being a liberal to a tanky, but
No. This
he
guy
did
was
it
a
through the
savant
DPRK
through,
episode. Yeah, he's
one-
a savant.
Well,
Yeah.
there's another brewer in town, and Andre, if you're listening, I don't know if you sign up. I doubt that any of his employers listen to the fucking. They pay money to listen to Dialectics After Dark.
That's true. They're paying.
But no, this guy, I didn't even know that he was a leftist, and we because we're both brewers, we've talked, and he's come and brewed with us a couple of times, and And then like one day he just like sends me a message about how we're dropping too many episodes, and he's like backed up on like listening to us, and I was just like, dude, I don't even know you listened. He's like, you guys are fucking killing it. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, it's no. Every single one of our patrons is a hero and a saint, and just like a good kind person, and we all appreciate it. So anyway, we've been talking about how nice our patrons are for like 6 minutes. No, but yeah. So I think that does it for Dialectics After Dark. Like we got like some bomb ass episodes we're gonna be recording in a few months. January 1st, the Marxist Feminism episode, which like is fucking spicy as shit. I loved it.
Very good.
It's like the first episode in like 16 episodes I haven't been on.
It's true.
I was
That's
like-
true.
like, I feel weird.
17.
My God, it's
Yeah, because
wild.
he's gonna hear it and just be like, oh,
I know exactly because this is the first one I haven't heard firsthand.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Yeah, and so that's gonna do it. So thanks everybody. We'll do another one of these next month. Well, I'm sure we'll talk to all of you in the Discord soon. Yeah, thanks. Have a good night. Solidarity forever.
Solidarity forever.
Solidarity Death to America. Death to America. Room bomb. All right.
Are we not? Do we not read through the patron list on this?
Not on this one, because they already know who
I guess yeah, that makes sense.
they
You
are.
know who you are.
起来，不愿做奴隶的人们，把我们的血肉组成我们新的长城。中华民族到了最危险的时候，每个人被迫着发出最好的号声。起来，起来，起来！我们万众一心，冒着敌船的炮火前进，冒着敌船的炮火前进，前进，前进，进。Arise, you who refuse to be bond slaves. Let's stand up and fight for liberty and true democracy. All our world is facing the chains of the tyrant. Everyone who works for freedom is now crying. Arise, arise, arise. All of us with one heart, with the torch of freedom, march on. With the torch of freedom, march on, march on, march on and on. 起来，不要按所奴隶的人们，把我们的血肉组成我们新的长城。中华民族到了最危险的时候，每个人被迫着发出最好的号声。起来，起来，起来！我们万众一心，冒着敌船的炮火前进，冒着敌船的炮火前进，前进，前进，进。